right, guys, welcome back. You're still tuned in to Funtastic Fridays. Once you hear that song, you know what time it is. We're in the final hour of the show. All right, big up for all the persons on the live who have tuned in, who have been interactive. We love it. We appreciate it. All the persons out there in Radioland, we hope that you made it home safely. And we're hoping to still enjoy it, even though they reach on the yard, you know. News ain't got nothing on us, right? So, talk about it. Yeah, I'll talk about it. Right, so it's time for Talk the Ting with Kim. And for this week, I decided that we're going to discuss some Black history facts. You know why? I was like, every time we talk about Black History Month, and I don't think we've ever really wondered where it's come from. I don't even know when it started. You know, it's just something that you're born and come see, and you just continue. So we're gonna get into it, right?
Indeed.
So I know we've all heard about Black History Month, and many of us are big on ensuring that it is celebrated. You know, everybody's all woke now, and the power and the people, and we all, you know, on one knee and all them something there. Yeah, at them levels that we reach.
Get them a carpet.
Right? However, did you ever stop to think about how Black History Month was created and why?
When?
Well, Funtastic Fridays is here to educate you further and provide you with some facts that you may not have already known about Black history. So let's get right into it. Fact number 1. Black History Month originated in the United States. Did y'all know that?
Yeah.
Did y'all know that this was created in the United States?
Yes.
I figured.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When you had the American War of...
Kim had it?
No. When America fought civil rights.
Yes.
Yes, that's around that time.
That's when Black History Month started. That's what you say?
I'm saying it would have been around that
time.
Yeah, just put a round on it.
So the Civil War was integral to it starting?
I think so.
Okay. How you think it starts?
I don't think.
You did?
She just know.
Alright, Never. How you know that Black History Month started?
I've never thought about it before, but I figured because normally you normally hear most Americans talking about Black History Month and not other countries as much. Most of the Americans.
Alright.
I figured it was
that.
Yeah.
Alright, Xavier, what about you? How you think Black History Month started?
Yeah, I kind of think it started with the whole civil rights movement thing. As what Jada said, with like coming off the back of Malcolm X.
Yeah.
What's the other guy? Martin Luther King Jr.
And
all the other civil Rosa Parks. Coupled with the fact that the black masses were always saying everything being celebrated are these white inventors and Asians and stuff. So what about us? So probably the federal government say, hey, let's give them something, and it just blossomed from there. And then internationally, we adopted it and said February.
Oh,
Black History Month.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
February is the best month.
All right.
Birthday is next week.
Next week, what again?
Next week Tuesday.
Black History Month.
Not
right?
next week Tuesday, birthday's Tuesday coming, man. Tuesday coming.
Next week Tuesday and Tuesday coming is
At
the
the same
same.
thing.
I'm
The same
thinking
Tuesday.
following Tuesday.
No, next week is a
Sorry,
new
that's the
week.
rich people thinking.
Right?
Yeah.
Lionel, how you think?
All about the rich people.
How do you think Black History Month began? I just want to know what people thought before we get into it.
Black History Month, like who started it anyway?
Black
You
people.
see, we've been talking about it, but we've never really thought about where it came from or the source.
Because we would assume it's the American government, but you know who like spearheaded to say, hey, we need a month for
Black people.
So you don't know it either?
No.
Alright, we're gonna get into it.
I wasn't there at the time.
You weren't there at the
At the
time.
place.
And the ancestors never update you. So you never link your ancestor while I'm gonna say, yo, educate me now? Who can tell
If
me?
them answer me, trust me, we don't celebrate.
Fair enough. Alright, so Black History Month originated in the US, as we just said, and is known to be celebrated mostly basically in the US, right? This month-long observance is used as a chance to celebrate African Americans' many achievements throughout the US history. Since 1976, this annual celebration has recognized the contributions of Black Americans to the United States. So this one, firstly, surprised me a bit. Yeah, I mostly heard Americans with it, but I was like, so hold on, what Jamaica have to do with this? Why we take up this thing? Kind of big up African Americans and how they contributed to the U.S. And I'm like, so we just take up Black History Month because?
Not necessarily, Kim.
Because as America
you have to
sees,
remember that somehow we travel both places. You get what I'm saying?
But we think we take it up from that?
Right. That's partial it. And also, some of us wish to travel, but have not yet traveled. So this is our ways to connect.
We'll practice how to be American before we go
like
America.
We big up July 4th and them something there.
We're not nothing to do with July 4th.
Martin Luther. We in everything because we have to try make sure when we travel, we know
we're cultured. We are
people.
Cultured people.
Yeah.
We understand the thing them. Okay, fair enough.
Somebody asked me if February is Reggae Month or Black History Month. What do you say? And I'm like, I guess both.
It's both.
I think it started as Black History Month and then we put our spin. Because we always put forward spin.
Reggae Month came out after really because it was because of Bob Marley most.
And Team birthday.
And Dennis Brown,
Yeah.
So
I think that's really it was a spin-off Jamaican. So we like to make food thing unique. So make we just say Reggae Month.
And I wouldn't really call it a spin-off in it because it's, as I say, because we have two big legends born in the month, and I really like we choose February because of Black History Month. We could call it Reggae Month. It's because of Bob Marley and Dennis Brown.
Well, I like that you said that because Black History Month have a similar starting.
I know, I figured.
Right? So fact number 2. Black History Month's first iteration was Negro History Week. That's where it actually started, right? Before it was Black History Month, it was Negro History Week.
I remember that, and they said we need more than a week.
And it was created. You were there.
I remember hearing about that.
Oh! I thought you were there, like front seat, like the riots and everything. Complained.
And I actually took some footage on my iPhone 11.
You were before your time.
You know, remember? You know what? You guys don't watch my day. My day with Rosa Parks and a video with iPhone. Anyway.
So basically, Negro History Week was created in February 1926 by a man named Carter G. Woodson, known as the father of Black history.
I'm getting a vibe, Kim. I think like Kim, you know, like when you have Auntie and Reed takers. This everybody like I listen to Auntie. What do you call it, Auntie Nadine?
Yes, and everybody get around. Cover educate. Exactly. I thought I wanted to know. So I was like, people might want to know too.
Yeah.
So I hope y'all want to know. Right? So this historian, once again, Carter G. Woodson. Can't tell what teacher nothing yet.
Sound like Carter Shakespeare, yeah.
Right? Probably them have some heritage. Yeah.
I think I claim some money.
Right? Known as the father of Black history.
Why do they take more money though? Anyway.
Right? So this historian helped establish the field of African American Studies and his organization, the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, aka ASALH. That's the abbreviation.
That's long.
Yes, I know, right? When I saw it, I was like, anyways. And this was created as it was aimed to encourage people of all ethnic and social backgrounds to discuss the Black experience. Right? So this man, Carter G. Woodson, created Negro History Week in February 1926. Right?
Okay.
Fact number 3. February was chosen by Woodson for a week-long observance as it coincides with the birth dates, so as you said, with the birth dates of both former U.S. President Abraham Lincoln and social reformer Frederick Douglass. Both men played a significant role in helping to end slavery. Lincoln is well known for issuing the Emancipation Proclamation, declaring freedom for enslaved Americans held in the Confederacy. Right? So that's what Lincoln did. And then Douglass escaped from American slavery in 1838, and he became a renowned abolitionist, speaker, and writer. He wrote several books, including a narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, an American slave. So he was a slave himself, escape from it, and eventually start fight slavery. And because him and Abraham Lincoln, who also supported the end of slavery, both of them born February, so they were like, you know what, it's gonna be February. So just like they say Reggae Month was made Reggae Month because The birth date, so yes, I think it's the same concept they use to create it, right? So, fact number 4, and this is where some names y'all mentioned earlier. Some know some things, right?
Paid attention.
Some can't like. I almost feel like me and them read same time before we come into there.
Never catch mosquito.
No, never. That's how it is. Empower yourself, right?
No, it's the bucket hat. Trust me. It partially make it invisible. It's your fault. Right? You don't want to be seen.
So, fact number 4. By the late 1960s, you did it with the phone same way, right?
Yeah, yes.
iPhone 11.
This time I upgraded to Pro Max.
To Pro Max at that point.
Yeah.
Civil rights leaders and black activists such as Rosa Parks, certain people call them name. What I want to name? Webb Du Bois? Yes.
I said what she said.
Du Bois, Malcolm X, John Lewis, Barbara Jordan, Marcus Garvey, and Martin Luther King Jr., just to name a few,
Big up Marcus.
popularized the Black History Month and brought national attention to black struggles. So I guess so even though Negro History Week was a thing and then they were fighting for it to be increased, they're like, why only celebrate it for a week? We need a month. Then these activists sort of now take it on and take on the mantle and say no,
we need more to
fight.
be done.
So they popularized it, had people talking about Black History Month before it was even Black History Month. Kind of have to rally up the troops. You know, say I get support. You're like, yo, we need to be recognized. We need a month. We need to know about what history. Stop teaching about the white man. We need to know about the black man. And all them something there. So they made Black History Month popular. Right? This resulted in a growing awareness of black identity. So we start getting like a pride. Because before them tell us so we are monkey and we are property and we are these things. Some people believed it. So now you start realizing, hold on, we're more than just these things, you know.
Bleaching start from a long time, you know.
Me and if we have bleach back then, but you have to show the picture them where they have from back then. We could see some bleach as you about, but as far as me know,
like, you see, like at one time, like me iCloud did lock, so me never get for backup.
So you know,
never back up at the time.
The cloud's still around. They can go check it out.
Somewhere out there.
I had to change my iCloud. Forget the password. Blackout.
Fair. This
blackout.
Link never neighbor. Probably have a key. To the cloud, okay? Right? But yes, so basically it was popularized, and then Negro History Week was celebrated by males. So now some males or some cities now across the US start say, yo, we could jump on board. So we don't reach Black History Month yet, but we could start the celebration of Negro History Week. And it don't really sit very well with me for Negro History Week. You just don't feel right.
I don't know. Like sometimes you have to give thanks, like I said, boy, I'm not sure how me that manage.
Yeah, if you existed back then. I've always said, you know.
That does sound like
if other people want to stay so then kill off quick, can you not listen? Or you don't really just follow rules.
I'm a Negro. Like it just talking just sound weird. Like, you know?
It just don't sit right. Negro History Week, right? But that's what it was. Huh?
But like the word Negro history, like it just sound.
Even the way he said Negro History Week, because I'm sure back then it was probably the proper way to say it.
Right.
But it just no years after it just sound wrong.
Yeah,
you know?
because like we said, like the movies.
Yes, and the Negro, we know where the nigger and the Negro come from and stuff.
But not only that, we don't necessarily use those terms these days. So like we grew up hearing them.
That's true. That's so weird.
Like a different,
it just seemed foreign.
That's true.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So that's fact number 4, right? So these activists now popularize it and made it a thing and start the whole fight to get a Black History Month. So fact number 5, in 1976, so that's what 16 years after the civil rights leaders now start push for this, President Gerald Ford officially recognized Black History Month. So 1976, and this start fight from 1926. 50 years.
So wait there. So after people are not there for the fight after it done.
But that's what I'm saying, you know. Most of these movements, guys, you might look at it today and say, boy, the change is not going to happen. Bear in mind, these changes sometimes is generation. Somebody will come after you, take up the fight, and make it something. Because slavery never ended away.
And we there think so we can Black Road one day and change the country.
Exactly. No, you have to have. You know what somebody said to me once? Actually, I went to a lecture, and he said, the pyramids, he said most people who started the pyramids never got to see the end of it.
Nah, me could have built. Me suppose I can build pyramid faster now, though, cause.
Yeah, probably no.
Yeah.
But then
But me I
it
figure
took
say back then.
years. So who started
should have
it
been
sometime
something-
never
No,
done
sir.
it.
I'm mashing that down. Imagine you build something. I never
I
see
you
how
can't see the ending.
Bossy, we reach half the. I mean, 30 years, but I saw build. No,
Yes.
sir. Hey, me got back about yard.
I never thought about that until that lecture. I
Never
go
look up
that
that.
deep. So that's what I'm saying.
Pyramid
You have to
statistics are that.
basically respect history, because sometimes with history, it's not about who started, it's who take on the mantle and improved it and actually help to implement
Exactly.
it. So it's the same thing. Check out the pyramids.
Never
Check it
look
out.
up, 'cause that's very
Because
interesting.
some people started it, did not
Because
see
I never
the end
realized
of
that
it.
they would take so long to build.
It took a while, and bear in mind, it was several pyramids. So even if you build one or two, eventually the whole
Oh, you know,
thing
see
at
the
the
whole
end,
scheme,
you
yeah.
don't know the complete thing
Yeah.
because it took years.
So the pyramids though.
But there's some of them that still say that they don't know how they don't
Let me
even
They're
tell
still
you
trying to figure out.
100%.
Yeah, because they're still trying to figure out how it was built.
Like the
Because
maths
and I like so you see steel and black put together. So they're very
Exactly.
confused.
So there are things to look out for
Who was the
basically with that,
architect and
right?
something?
Exactly. So you have to consider that. So President Gerald Ford officially recognized Black History Month, and in his speech, President Ford urged Americans to seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. So finally, somebody in a very important position now start giving the recognition that we needed, and it started to spread. That's really what happens sometimes. Some people just need somebody important for say if you be important. But if nobody not important, then you're not important till somebody important mention say important. That
And
make
then-
sense?
And then that's
Got
the,
the clout, so.
that's the rough time. That's the like it's like basically that's basically or that what we call it ancient days social media.
You got the cloud.
So the-
Because at the end of the day, somebody had to tell us that hey, other people out there,
Yeah,
these
who
people
value.
are important too. Like that rough.
Yes, somebody important had
Sometimes I
to
wonder
tell
how
you
the world would be if
Well-
we'd just be fair from day one.
from day one. So Jada had a question. She said, you know, why were the pyramids built? So she did a research. I like it to know. I've been encouraging people to research the things they don't want to
You're a
know.
good teacher.
Right? So, I like it. Pyramids today stand as a reminder of the ancient Egyptian glorification of life after death. And in fact, the pyramids were built as monuments to host the tombs of the pharaohs.
Yeah.
Death was seen as merely the beginning of a journey to the other world. So that's why the pyramids were created. But also people lost their life
Yeah.
and all that in the creation of the pyramid. Like, there's a whole history there, but we're not going into that today, right?
The
So
mama
Gerald
will be
Ford in 1976, 50 years after, decided to make this thing important to other people that probably never couldn't relate to our color and our experiences in life, and say, yo, actually, acknowledging people here, they're too often neglected and they need to be appreciated in all that they've done, right? And then fact number 6, since his administration, every American president has recognized Black History Month. So after him started in
I couldn't
1976,
dare think
everybody
them
after that, yeah, 'cause you can't go backwards after that.
Me I say,
Because people don't know we exist now.
hey,
And we important, so we're not making them forget
I want you-
to
oh,
exist.
I want this.
Right? So I think they didn't really have a choice.
They didn't.
But you had to acknowledge Black
Yep.
History Month thereafter and its mission. But it wasn't until Congress passed the National Black History Month into law. So it's a law now, guys.
So when that
in
was-
1986,
Ah.
10 years after, Mr. Ford said, even if I acknowledge the people, they might understand so they contribute to society and all these things. But it took 10 more years before they made National Black History Month a law. I never knew it was a law. I thought it was just a month we take up and
Well,
decide to where it is.
I think once it goes on the actual official calendar, they call that the law. That's when the law is passed. So
And then since it's a law in 1986, many people now in the US began to observe it formally, right? The law aimed to make all Americans aware of this struggle for freedom and equal opportunity. If it's working, I don't know. We've come a far way, right? So we've come a far way. We didn't say that much.
Yeah.
But it was created once again to make all Americans, I don't know how much Americans listening, but this is why it was created.
yeah.
To make you aware of this struggle for freedom and equal opportunity that Black people face.
Big up my listeners out there in Connecticut.
Yes.
Big up the people over there in New
Minnesota.
Hampshire.
Minnesota, Maryland.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Tennessee, shout out to you,
Boston.
Tennessee.
Those down there in Florida.
Yeah.
Stratford CT.
I think Florida is just a Jamaica.
I was about to say three quarters of Jamaica, they're Florida, you know.
Well, and that still take up basically 1/10 of Florida. But
Exactly.
Big up to my Miami peeps out there, California, I see you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, fact number 7. Initially, Black History Month was a way of teaching students and young people about Black and African American contribution, because back then in schools, like we even saw in our school years, you never really learned much about Black people.
Columbus,
it was all
this,
about everybody else.
This and next Spaniard man, that.
Yes.
This Queen England, this.
Exactly.
I want to know nothing
so
about
we never
nobody
learned nothing
Black.
about we and what our people did and what our ancestors were responsible for. So it was basically created in efforts to say, hey, start teach the kids about us. We important too. We have a history and a past as well.
Yeah.
Right? So such stories had been largely forgotten and were a neglected part of the national narrative. Right? So that was the purpose initially. And then for fact number 8, we're almost done. Every year, a theme is chosen by the, you remember the same weird name, ASALH?
That's correct.
That's the foundation that Mr. What's his name again? Carson.
Yeah, Carson along
Woodson,
with
Carter Woodson
Carter
created,
and
yes.
And he and somebody else. Who else?
Well, it was him initially, you know, the father of Black history.
Right.
And he had created the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. That's what the ASALH.
Carter Woodson and Jesse Moreland.
Oh, Jesse, they didn't show me
Yeah.
Jesse Moreland.
Jesse Moreland was a part of
it as well. So Carter, them might get all the props and Jesse
That
get left
usually
behind,
happens.
or is he like the best?
James.
Jesse Moreland. Calm down, Jada. They founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life, ASNLH. She's the one where, you know, so anybody have any questions? No. And as they move on,
That's a question. Right, but okay, so I like that though, because you know what tends to happen? There's always like a one main person at the show.
Right.
There's always somebody who's integral to it. You know, I couldn't always say have a sidekick. There's always a sidekick.
Yep.
And half the time,
Sherlock,
the
there's
sidekick don't get acknowledged. You know?
say Sherlock Holmes.
Exactly. So this, everything I researched, and I researched more than one source, and everybody said Carter Woodson.
Yeah.
Nobody mentioned Jesse Moreland.
Sometimes you have to go deep into the roots.
You have to go talk to the
find
people
the truth.
themselves.
Yeah.
You know, online I could have, you know, check with
I
them.
still
for
had
like-
this contact in the
in your WhatsApp.
Yeah.
In your WhatsApp from that man.
long time in the post, but you know the stress. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So the group that was originally founded by Woodson, which I said is ASALH, and this year's theme, because every year there's actually a theme, so I don't think we even know that either.
Yeah, each year there's a theme.
I just thought it was Black History
didn't
Month
know.
every year. I never know there was themes.
Basically, I never really said, boy, I didn't know say there was a theme, but
he's been around.
no.
Yeah,
what I'm
sure.
saying is that all the activities that you see that are celebrated annually, they have a theme. each
I
year.
never knew. I just thought every year
Breast
Black
Cancer
History
Awareness
Month.
Month.
No, I
There's
understand like
a
those
theme.
stuff.
No, but all of them. Because
But we never
there's
knew
a
the Black
governing
History
body
Month
for
was
each
one
of
of
these
them.
each of these groups. There's a governing body, and each year they implement.
Well, guess what? We learned something today.
I'm telling you so.
So for this year's theme, it's Black Resistance. And this focuses on how through resistance, Black people have achieved triumphs, successes, and progress in the U.S.
Power to the people.
These include the end of chattel slavery, the dismantling of Jim and Jane Crow segregation in the South. And they hear about Jim Crow, right?
I know it.
Jim and Jane Crow. So where did John Crow come from? Because he was up in other people's business.
That's how down the generations. John Crow was created.
A cousin.
And guess what? Him the migrate go to Jamaica.
A cousin.
And ever since John Crow.
And when he went uptown, he became Jean Cruz.
Yes.
You get it?
Yeah.
That one in their trouble much. That's in their trouble. That's fine.
Jada, let's
Right?
start.
So as I said, these included the end of chattel slavery, the dismantling of Jim and Jane Crow segregation in the South, increased political representation at all levels of government. 'Cause whenever you have black people
we never have
in
no-
a government,
no
you
seat,
never
we
have them
never
in no face of the bank, no teller, nothing like that.
Them
Nothing.
just
Black
have
people
in the dark.
you know, the house cook for people and the fields
in
and
our
all
son
these
our
things.
work.
Yes.
No dog.
And the desegregation of educational institutions, remember, so we weren't allowed education either.
We not get no
Even with-
education, we never get no land, we not get no.
No
We couldn't
thing
get
at
any loans
Just
to
work.
buy.
You know
Just
what was the worst
work.
part?
Ariana
I
started,
thought, you know what I thought was the worst part? Is that when they gave them their freedom, gave us our freedom. They paid the slave owners for us.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I was like,
They paid
so you not give we back nothing?
The government paid.
They compensated them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so we...
Over 12 million.
No, but hold on, Kim.
I did something.
That's why reparations is a conversation now, guys. Just in case you don't always hear about it and I don't understand why. It's because they're saying that after...
But reparation is bigger than that, because we never built two business about why the government paid the slave owners them. Reparations go back to we've been at work for
years for free and build up all these different entities.
Imagine you have 10
years
people
now.
at farm for. Because nowadays, we have workers in our shop and everything. And we know most of we do look at errands and things. Yeah. And we pay somebody a little thing. Imagine if you have these workers that do the work for free. You know, rich you get rich fast.
But that's the thing, man. Guess what? The type of rich that they've gotten has spanned over generations.
Of course.
You know, realize you have certain names are just rich, just a name. And they're just known to be of wealth. That's because of the work that they gain
and
from.
And they don't work because they just sit in the house and watch we work. So imagine that you don't work, you have free time, and you collect the money because you sell the farm products and the things them where we build our work. That's why reparations come in. Because we never get no shares.
Them don't make nothing from it. No. They were just abused and used and killed.
We get food, so we not drop dead. That's
all. And that's, I think if they could do without feed them, not do without feed.
But they probably tried.
The work.
They probably tried.
Yeah, I'll probably just feed with less. But they need the work, so them say, all right, well, I'll forget them something. You know? But that's a part of what reparations are discussion.
In some places too, persons had to basically, in a sense, pay for them food.
Yeah.
So if you want more, you have to go pay. And we never get no pay. We don't get a pay.
It's we're gonna pay for it.
Did they ever sort out the Paul Bogle, Thomas? Is it Thomas Jennings?
No, it hasn't been sorted.
You mean the photo that is being used is not?
It's not Paul Bogle. That's what they said. And then Paul Bogle's representatives here said Thomas Jennings, that's not his photo. So it hasn't been sorted out.
It's confusing.
And then at the end of the day, and we can't ask two people with back then because, it's a little while now.
Okay, your WhatsApp.
So most persons are saying that they probably resembled. So the artist just basically copy cross the photo.
Interesting.
I know enough times we do find people that look alike, You find somebody will look alike, but they're not even related. That might happen.
So yes, in the midst of all this, there was a Civil Rights Act that was created, and that was done in 1964. And also this helped to acknowledge the increased and diverse representation of black experiences in media. Because you don't never see people with full skin color.
Who wouldn't depend on
the radio, on TV, a host, nothing.
No presentation.
Nothing.
Back of the class.
Always back of the class, back in the background.
Back of the room.
No subject.
Nothing.
If we're at the house, we're at the back of the house, in the barn. Nobody in a no room.
Probably the animal, then they are better.
Of course,
surrounding that way.
Better surrounding because the animals to them
made them money.
To them were more valuable.
Boy. But guys, I'm seeing that it is time for us to go to the break. When we get back, we wrap up our conversation about Black History Month. And one, you tell me that if you learn something, because me learn only by me that research this. So I hope that you guys are interested and have been learning from our topic today. All right. So see you after the break.